Today, the Florida Senate passes a bill to end Disney's self-governance. The Washington Post doubles down on their hit piece against Libs of Tik Tok and lies about doxing her. That's cute. And will the Biden administration push for an appeal to bring masks back on planes? The people are clamoring for it. We've got all that and more coming up, and it all starts right now. Welcome to the News and Why It Matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez, today joined by, listen, it's been a long time. I don't know if you guys remember this guy on the show, Elijah Schaffer, of course, host of Slightly Offensive. Hi. It's nice to meet you.
It was
Hi,
Easter,
Sarah.
so I didn't want Jesus to be alone and rising from the dead. So I'm here. I am very pleased to be back. I've missed you guys, but most importantly, I've missed you.
I know. I feel like you don't call, you don't write. So
I know it's true. I'm just too busy being young, rich, handsome, and successful. It's a very difficult thing. You know that you have a problem with John Doyle and myself both because
it's true.
It's just it's a little bit of jealousy.
It's true. Well, and then whenever I'm out with you guys, I'm like swatting the ladies away, trying to get them away from you guys.
But you rock fake eyelashes better than Doyle does.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
He does okay with the contour and the lipstick, but
yeah.
I got to say on a night out, you definitely look better.
Yeah, I feel like the bigger, the better. I know a lot of viewers disagree with me, but you know what? I don't care. That's the beauty of it. We're also joined by her maiden voyage on the show. We have Brett Cooper, who is the host of the comment section over at the Daily Wire. We are so happy that you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. So I want to get to this Florida thing, because yesterday we talked on the program about how Ron DeSantis had basically said there was a representative who pushed forward the bill, and he's like, yep, got to tell you, we're going to be looking at that. And here it is, the Florida Senate. This is, of course, Republican-led. The Florida Senate passed a bill today that eliminates this special taxing district that allows the Disney Corporation to basically just self-govern on the land that they operate on. So this is the Reedy Creek Improvement District. This is created in 1967, and they exempt Disney from a bunch of different regulations, taxes, fees, all of that. And look, DeSantis said, what did he say last month during a press conference? What I would say as a matter of first principle is I don't support special privileges in law just because a company is powerful and they've been able to wield a lot of power. I think what has happened is there's a lot of these special privileges that are not justifiable, but because Disney has held so much sway, they were able to sustain a lot of special treatment over the years. He ain't lying. So, look, I think this still has yet to be passed fully, but Florida Senate actually has passed it. And I'm loving this Florida, I don't care what the left thinks. We are going to go full steam ahead with all of our platforms, all of our ideas, push them through, jam them through, because damn it, I'm Ron DeSantis, and I have basically become ruler of the free world through COVID.
Yeah, besides voting for Biden, if we saw Walt Disney in his grave, the most important thing is that we would find out is he would be freaking pissed off at Mickey and Minnie for cheating on him with the people that he warned America about. Because in 1947, he testified in front of Congress and warned them about the communist takeover of Hollywood. He literally got before the House committee, went and said, I want to warn you here out that there is an infiltration of elites. These are banking cabal. These are people who hate our nation. They don't care about our Constitution, our rights, and they're infiltrating through entertainment. Did anyone believe him? Clearly not, because his own company is run by these people. So while people will be pissed off today that they're finally taking control of Disney, you realize that if you're giving tax exemption and territorial control Disney, you are giving that control, and it sounds very cliche, but not just to communists, but to global elite communists, people who want to change the world in a way that works against us. And that's what companies are doing. They're using our tax-exempt statuses. They're operating in different countries where they can skirt sanctions. They operate their banks in countries where they don't have any regulations. They come into our countries, use illegal hiring practices, change the laws, lobby policies, and they rework our country from within against the will of the people. And the mask mandate's the exact same thing. When you saw everyone clapping on the planes when it was lifted midair, people want a certain way of life that the companies want to work against. So if we're going to get that way of life back, we've got to fight against the companies.
Yeah, Brett.
It stood out to me that, so many people last week when the Disney footage was leaked of their not-so-secret gay agenda, that kind of thing. There were a lot of people that were saying, oh, they're just movies or they're just TV shows. But I think you hit on a really important point with when Walt Disney was testifying and talking about these companies infiltrating every part of American life. That's what Disney became. Back in like the early 2000s, mid-90s, it had switched from just being cartoons and sweet movies to Disney paraphernalia on every aspect of children's lives. Like Disney owns the brains of children and parents feed into it. They take them to Disney every single year. Every backpack has a Disney princess on it. I mean, the power that this corporation has over families is astronomical. So then just to like flip it away and say, oh, it's just a movie or it's just a TV show. It's like, no. And the government has allowed them to have this kind of power over us. Yeah. Parents have too.
Yeah, it is. It's quite an interesting business decision to say like, no, you know what? We're going to come out in full support of teachers being able to sexually indoctrinate their students. Yeah. Even if the parents don't like it. I can't wrap my brain around, look, you work with the Daily Wire, you're no stranger to having to deal with these woke people. I know Jeremy's Razors is a thing because there was some idiot with like 7 Twitter followers who went on and talked to Harry's Razors and was like, Michael Knowles hurt my feelings because he thinks that women are women and men are men. And they changed their entire thing, right? Yep. It's like, I don't understand. You guys are already the most expensive family vacation place. Universal Studios is a thing, right? Yep. Like people can go there. So it just blows my mind that they would just go all in on no parents. I actually don't think that you should have a say. I think that teachers should be able to do this. Why?
Well, they're pandering to that, 1% of our country that actually believes that, we need to completely rework our entire system around an LGBTQ agenda. Yeah. They are bending a knee to that tiny percent, and then the rest of the country is going, oh my God, this is absolutely insane and wrong, but they are going to bend a knee because then they get accolades, they get applause from, other corporations, from the government, and that's what they care about. They don't actually care about their customers or their people or the middle America who's horrified by this. Yeah. They care about the other industries. They're going to write about them on, corporate blogs and advertising, publications saying, look how woke they are for this ad, for this thing that they did.
Yeah, it's just, I don't believe that 1% is like visiting their theme parks frequently.
But it doesn't really matter. I was going to say, Jeremy was smart. I need some Jeremy's Razors if I have to hear this about the story one more time, you know what I mean? Like, I just straight to go back to my high school days.
I pre-ordered a subscription for my husband. I was like, I'm all in, Jeremy.
Do they come in wrist sizes? But I sit around and you have to ask yourself, do people want this? And you have to be genuine, right? Because obviously there's a portion of people who really do not like anybody who are gay, but most people know somebody who's gay, or they know somebody who's living a different or alternative lifestyle than would be considered traditional conservative or Christian. And you meet most of these people, and they are just people who happen to be gay. They aren't like gay people. And there's a distinction, right? There's a distinction when your identity's in your sexuality. And that's why even things like super straight are stupid to me, because it's like, dude, you don't have to say you're straight. There's a reason why we delineate gay, is because it's to say that you are somebody different than straight. You don't need to tell everyone, I'm straight, I'm straight, I'm straight. This whole idea of using your sexuality as your key identifier to the public is not even something that is genuinely real outside of maybe TikTok algorithms or like Instagram feeds. In the real world, the problems that we have with each other are, of course, based on like pride, jealousy, narcissism, like real issues, greed. And so when these people talk like, oh, the biggest problem in our theme park is we don't make enough gay movies. It's like, no, the biggest problem is your lines. Like anyone talked, I don't go to Disneyland because of the lines. I don't go to Disneyland because of the prices. Right. I'd have never thought about, it's like the sexuality of Mickey Mouse. I don't know about you, but I'm not into bestiality and I'm not really into that kind of stuff.
Furries.
Apparently they are. But it's like, so there really is nobody asking for this. And the real question, the rudimentary foundation is why? And that is because, just like you see with the Twitter situation with Jack Dorsey, how the board barely owns any of the stock. They own 2% of the stock, create the entire direction of the company for the other 98% of the shareholders, which then makes a distinction to the entire news narrative for the nation and the world. These people know the power they have. They see the world that they want. They are godless. They are satanic. And they are antithetical to all conservative values. They want to make us weak, confused, destroyed, and dilapidated and degenerate. Because why? Degenerate people cannot unite with each other when you can't even calm the storm in your own soul. So when you're not at peace, when you're at war, when you're confused about the basicity of life, of your gender, of your sex, of who you love, and you see the trans arc of going from bisexual to gay to asexual to trans to back to straight, you go, if they can trap us in the hamster wheel of psychological mental confusion, a sexual and spiritual degeneracy, they can do whatever they want because we can never unite together to create the powerful enough group to stop them. And that's all it's about. They don't have to get all of us. They just have to get enough of us so we fight about these issues instead of looking at the real issues like why we're off the gold standard and why we sold our banks to the banking elite and why we're in wars that we cannot win and these kinds of things that we should ask the questions. No, instead, people don't even realize that Australia is finally lifting its restrictions because we're so busy talking about, I don't want you to cut my kid's penis off.
Did you guys, it's a great point, and to that point, did you guys hear Jen Psaki went on some horrific podcast, right? And she was crying.
Yes, crying about
the Don't
Has she
Say
ever
Gay
been on
bill.
a good one?
I mean, no. And her regular job, she's not working for a good place either. But she went on this podcast, and did you hear the clip?
I haven't watched it yet, but I have it saved on my phone. It was actually right as I was walking over here. I was
so
excited
bad.
to see it.
She's like, oh, they just bully these kids, and they're just trying to live, and they have parents who love each other, and I just find it really sad.
Wait, this is another dumb clip? I was thinking of a different one.
Yes, she was on a podcast, and she was talking about the Don't Say Gay bill, but it just blows my mind because they
married
continue.
to someone.
And she has children herself. That's what I don't understand. I feel like anyone who has a child, I realize I'm the only one at the table who is old enough to do that, but you have
old
children.
Enough to do that? I'm 29 years old.
I was trying to give you a pass.
I'm allowed
Elijah,
to procreate.
right?
I think legally you are too, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, fine. Why don't you
news and
have
why
babies
at Miners?
yet?
What do you think
Why
is
don't
going
you
on?
have babies yet, Elijah? Huh?
Why don't I have babies? I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe because I don't have a mom and my wife's mom is stuck in a draconian lockdown. You want to get personal? No, I'm just kidding. I made that so savage.
Wait, a mom? Who are you having sex with to have the baby?
We don't have any family around, so we're trying to get near family. And it's not because it's illegal. I just want to clarify, Sarah didn't realize, apparently to her, that you can have children before 30.
I mean, I did. I was just trying to give you a pass. But anyway, well, it's been nice having you on the program.
flirting
It's
with
been a
me.
while.
Stop
It's
flirting with
going
me.
to be another while until you come back. No, but it blows my mind that they continue to double down on this, teaching children that they should be another gender or that they should believe things that are not true scientifically is definitely a good thing that we should continue to double down on, even though parents have vehemently said, no, we don't believe that's a good idea, even the left.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that stands out to me is that a lot of the narrative that they are pushing about this Don't Say Gay bill, a complete and blatant lie, especially that it only targets LGBTQ sexual identities. It's talking about any sexual ideology, anything like that. Because I have a problem with parents, I talked about this with Chad this morning, taking your toddler and saying, oh, what a hunk. Like the lady, it's a 2-year-old boy. It's all of it. We live in a hyper-sexualized society. These kids are being put in front of screens with god-awful content on it. They're being indoctrinated by every side of the political aisle. Let's just teach them math. Make them read To Kill a Mockingbird and leave them alone. And so it's on both sides. So I have a lot of people that are like, you just, you hate gay people because of this. You don't want, no. It's the entire, principle of do not talk to kids about those conversations. It's leave that to the parents.
And also parents, get your kids off of the screens and stop allowing them to babysit your children. This is not good content that you're giving them.
I was not allowed to watch any Disney growing up.
Really?
It was
Wow,
your
your
parents
parents
didn't want you
knew.
seeing phallic-shaped buildings and I wasn't even allowed to watch
It's
TV.
true.
So I can go worse than you. We weren't even allowed to have a TV.
God.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
We did not have a TV. We didn't play video games. I watched I
we're not allowed
Love
to play video
Lucy
games
and
either.
Andy Griffith Show. That was the only thing that I was allowed to
Did you
watch.
go when you were at friends' houses though? Did you sneak it? Because I remember
I was so excited.
I remember I got so in trouble that I remember I watched Hey Arnold and it was TVY7 and I was 6.
Oh.
And so
Elijah, what a
speaking
rebel.
of age limits, apparently I was I guess it's fair of you to question my children because I was breaking age gaps when I was a young kid. Of course the other way around, but I'm gonna tell you, all you 6-year-olds out there that watch the news and why it matters, God knows what you're doing when you watch TVY7.
So I just want to make it clear for the record, I'm going to constantly give Elijah crap about not having children yet because I was trying to give him a pass before. I was
so
actually
great,
just
huh,
making
Sarah?
an old joke. I was making an old joke.
They're so great, huh? They're always a blessing from God, right? You would never.
They are always a blessing from God.
Correct.
They're also always a pain in my ass. All right, I got to take a break. I want to get to our sponsor, Tommy John. So look, Tommy John, I heard a bunch about it before I actually owned Tommy John, and I was like, yeah, right. There's no way that something that it's just clothing. Like I'm wearing clothing right now. It can't be that comfortable. And then I got it, and I was like, oh, I understand what everyone was talking about now when they said you're not going to understand it until you actually own Tommy John and put it on your body. They have the most comfortable loungewear. Look, they've got the men's underwear, and I'm sure, Elijah can speak to like how comfortable underwear is on men, but I can't because I'm not a man, because I'm a woman, and I can't pretend to be a man because I'm actually a woman. But they do have...
I'll tell you this.
Tell me.
I'll tell you this. If you've ever seen like somebody, like a tractor that sort of has like a net and it's picking up dirt, and the dirt squishes perfectly inside of the container and it lifts it up and it's perfectly formed and the package is safe, secure, and it's exactly where it needs to be to have the best experience possible. That's how I describe Tommy John in a daily experience in front of ladies.
That's actually...
That was nice.
I don't know if you came up with that on the fly, but that was really good.
On the fly. It does have a good fly.
On the fly. There you go. I meant that. That was on purpose. They've got loungewear. They've got bralettes. They've got it all. They've got it for men and for women. Returns and exchanges are free. They've got a best pair you'll ever wear or it's free guarantee. By the way, it's Tommy John's anniversary month. So if you're looking to try them for the first time or if you're a longtime fan, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get 25% off site-wide right now over at TommyJohn.com/Y. That is TommyJohn.com/Y. See site for details. The Washington Post has come out in defense of Taylor Lorenz, actually doxing Libs of Tik Tok creator. This is, of course, an anonymous account that literally all they do is they go online, they pull actual videos that leftists have posted that they want to get exposure on, right? Like you would think that they would say, thank you. You're doing me a favor by publishing my video for way more eyeballs to see than I would get on my own because I have like 7 followers on TikTok. They don't say thank you, in fact. They actually get Taylor Lorenz to go and write a hit piece on the Libs of Tik Tok creator, the account owner, exposing them for, being anonymous. And again, I want to, anytime we talk about Taylor Lorenz, I think it's important that we just give good context on who Taylor Lorenz actually is, which is just a horrible, awful person, but also just a fragile, weak individual. This is Taylor Lorenz just like 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago on MSNBC, complaining about they were doing a story about 1 in 3 women under 35 experience targeted harassment online, which I'm not sure, again, why they chose Taylor Lorenz because she's clearly not under 35, but for some reason they still chose her
can we just clarify?
to talk about this.
She's 39. Yes.
I don't know, because some people are saying 43.
Well, she's somewhere between 39 and 43, which is the exact gap of denial when a woman feels like she's expiring and that she's alone in the world, and she, instead of doing what would make a woman happy, decides to tear other women down. They're more successful than her.
Yeah, well, right, and she can't stand the fact that an anonymous account would be more successful than she, technology reporter at the Washington Post, Taylor Lorenz. So, but I want to play Taylor Lorenz at her finest. She was talking about all of this online targeted harassment of women, and that she receives a lot of harassment and threats, and it's really sad. So I'm not sure, Control, are we having an issue with that? Okay, so let me get into, I'll play that in a second. So let's go to the Washington Post statement, which was in defense of Taylor Lorenz, not just doing this, but also completely lying. So what happened was that the original article that Taylor Lorenz wrote contained a link to this woman's real estate license. In the real estate license, it listed her address. So essentially, Taylor Lorenz was in fact doxing this individual. Here is this little screenshot. It says her name. She had been working as a real estate salesperson in Brooklyn. If you click on that link, it took you to her real estate license where you could find her address. Well, they changed it. And they thought maybe no one would notice. And then they released a statement that says Taylor Lorenz is an accomplished and diligent journalist whose reporting methods comport entirely with the Washington Post professional standards. I believe that. Libs of TikTok creator, in her management of the Libs of TikTok Twitter account and in media interviews, has had significant impact on public discourse, and her identity had become public knowledge on social media. We did not publish or link to any details about her personal life. All complete and total lies. Again, I think we're waiting on that particular video. Oh, here it is. Okay, yes, because we always, anytime we talk about Taylor Lorenz, I want to play her finest moment. Watch.
You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating.
Oh, no, is it?
And terrifying.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Oh.
What is Ellen DeGeneres doing there?
It's overwhelming. It's really hard.
Oh, they're both fed up with her BS.
It's so hard. So Washington Post completely lying in their statement in defense of Taylor Lorenz. Will they? But like, you know what?
That was a Me Too moment.
Was it?
No, yes. What that was, first of all, because Taylor Lorenz has all touched us in places that we never wanted to, which is, of course, in the dark recesses of our heart. But I also mean is like this was a total. Do you remember the Me Too movement? How there was so many of these like sloppy like menstrual like cycle eating ice cream cries. Like it wasn't like wasn't actual sad. It's like and you're like hey, you're gonna be okay. It's all made up in your head. Relax and just like calm down. She was having that moment, but she even worse. She faked that moment. She took the actress in a movie trying to play the menstrual cycle ice cream scene and then botched it with a performance not even as good as Will Smith's slap on Chris Rock. But she comes out, and I'm telling you, any woman who sounds like that, you know that she's guilty and projecting of the things that she's responsible for. Yeah. Women only do that to trap you. And I love women. Nobody loves women more than me. But I also understand.
You and Trump.
Yeah.
But I do. But I meant I can tell. You can tell when a man is being a douche and being fake, and you can tell when a woman is too. And there's nobody watching this, male or female, that could not make it a distinction that was definitely fake crying.
Well, both of the people in that video, you know, Ellen and then the fake Ellen DeGeneres.
Simone.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, the person who was interviewing her was like, oh, like you can see on her face, it's like, oh, okay, this is really unfortunate and fake.
She had a very jagged nose too, and that woman, like, she was just sitting there like this, and all I could notice was her nose, and I was just like, Ellen, what happened to your plastic surgery? But it was true. She was a weird-looking woman. Was that a man or a woman, by the way?
Probably a man.
You didn't even know.
Sitting next to Taylor?
I was trying to figure out from the nose because that looked like a man's nose.
It was a man.
But then it looked like a woman's brow. And then the hair looked like a lesbian, like a butch lesbian.
Well, this is the news and why it matters right here.
Well, I was just saying, I couldn't. Yeah, look.
It's important. It is important internet.
No, that's
a man.
No, that's a woman.
That's a woman. I changed my mind.
There's a tie.
Woman, it's a woman.
Well,
yeah, it's a woman. Oh. That's a classic butch,
you can't
but with a man nose.
Well, all right.
Yeah, these are the hard-hitting, you know.
I was so
it's
distracted.
internet analysis. It's internet analysis.
But I mean, you know that her story was so bad that like all I could think about was this person's nose. Like it's like I was so unconvinced. I was distracted by a facial
You're just
feature.
distracted by the nose. Brett,
That's why it matters.
Well, look, like, I mean, if you were the Washington Post, though, would you not? It's like they've never had really serious repercussions for all of the lies and crap that they peddle every single day. So it's like, yeah, probably I would do that too, because I'd be like, what, someone's going to call me out on my stuff? What, we're going to get some sort of negative consequences? Sure, we'll say whatever the hell we want.
Well, exactly. And Jeff Bezos is there to, you know, bail them out and protect them no matter what they say. But I mean, it is, I think in the wording of that, if I'm not wrong, they were saying that they didn't write her address or something like that. We didn't, whatever. And they're obviously trying to skirt around the fact that they hyperlinked it, so they didn't put it in the article.
Right.
But it was technically if you clicked the thing that was there. So they are, you know, you choosing their words very carefully. And all the utter, you know, about Taylor is, and she's just the most upstanding journalist. Are you kidding me? Have you read anything that she's ever written?
I don't think she's reread her own stuff.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think the Washington Post reads any of the things that they actually publish. Well, just as an update to the story, the Babylon Bee CEO, Seth Dillon, has said that he has personally made a deal with the Libs of TikTok creator. Taylor Lorenz went on and was like, I heard Babylon Bee has recently provided financial backing for Libs of TikTok, but I didn't have enough confirmation. But now Seth Dillon has confirmed it. He said, no, actually, I'm doing a deal with her personally, and then he thanked Taylor for amplifying the voices that she tries to suppress. Your promotion of Libs of TikTok today has been priceless. is what he said. I mean, really, I'm like, I want someone to write a hit piece on me at the Washington Post.
It's kind of funny. It's like Taylor's doing this whole thing to say, like, we need to protect LGBTQ people, that kind of thing. This is like the largest account that's amplifying their voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you a hater?
Yeah, don't you want them promoted?
I've had problems with WAPO, and they've had to retract stuff before. They do write hit pieces. They haven't been very good. But I did come up with a new phrase last night, because there's a lot of these like pseudo journalists, right? And I really toy with them. And as somebody said at the company, you love to just agitate the worst people on the internet. And I do. I love to ruin their days, because I know it lives in their mind, and I know that they're insecure, they're fat, they're ugly,
it's their whole life.
Yeah, and so it's like if you can degrade them from the inside, and even say like one day you won't be the insecure man you think you are, and things like that, it hurts their hearts. And I want to hurt evil people. And one of the main things is like the new thing that I'm using now is when someone is like absolutely the crappiest or like a worst person. They are now the Taylor Lorenz of anti-hate journalism. And I write them like, dude, you're so good. You're the Taylor Lorenz of your field, which is essentially the best compliment you could give someone who's a degenerate POS.
I love that.
I caught myself on your show. I'm back.
Good, yeah. Good job, Elijah. I'm proud.
I can censor.
All right, so we got to take another break, but first we want to thank our next sponsor, Fast Growing Trees. So it is spring. Spring is upon us. Summer is coming up. This is the season for, you got outdoor barbecues, pool parties, all that kind of stuff. And you don't want your yard to look like a plant cemetery, as it turns out. You got to get your place looking like a resort. Easy with Fast Growing Trees. FastGrowingTrees.com experts curate the thousands, and I mean thousands, of plants that they have that will thrive in your specific climate, location, and needs. There's no waiting in lines. You're not going to have to go. You buy it in the store. You put it in your car. You don't want all that dirt and topsoil and all that crap in your car, and then you have to vacuum it out. Don't do that, all right? Your plants will be shipped to you with Fast Growing Trees to your door in 1 to 2 days. They've got growing and care advice available 24/7. If you are like me and you are like, I literally am the worst at caring for plants. I actually had the pastor at my parents' church over Easter. He had an Easter lily, and he said it was drooping, and he said, Sarah, do you want to take this home and doctor it? And I said, no, I will kill it. Please don't give it to me. I kill all plants. I'm so bad at it, but Fast Growing Trees makes it so easy because it's packaged, ready to go. You dig the hole, you plop it in, and you can join 1 million home gardeners who have already seen what FastGrowingTrees.com can do for them. Look, do what I do. Go online. You're going to be completely overwhelmed with all of the choices that they have, but you will find something that is perfect for your yard, and they've got their 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, so you can trust everything will be healthy for years to come. You can go to fastgrowingtrees.com/news. You'll get 15% off of your entire order. That is fastgrowingtrees.com/news. The Biden administration said yesterday evening that it would appeal the order to lift the mask mandate on public transportation, but only if the CDC recommended it. This is, of course, after a day of mixed messaging from members of the administration. Joe Biden said that it was going to be left up to the individuals, which is cute. I think that's really cute that now, 2 years later, they're like, oh, actually, I think people should make their own choices on whether or not they cover their faces with basically a cloth diaper. Yeah, we could have used that like a really long time ago. So that's really cute. But it was not just that. Jen Psaki, this is what gets me, guys. Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, comes out and they try to psyop you into thinking that if you are against these things that they are pushing, that you are not in the majority of America. We saw all of these people on these planes cheering when the pilots came on midair and said, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. The flight attendants came by and said, throw away your masks. You can put them in the garbage because they are garbage. And we're supposed to believe that these people, they were just anomalies, right? Like they were just, I can't believe that you guys got the only flight that was happy about taking off their masks, because everyone else, actually, the majority of America loves wearing masks. This is what you are to believe if you listen to Jen Psaki responding to all of these people celebrating taking masks off of planes. Watch or listen.
I understand that the judge's ruling is something that independent judiciary has made. However, you saw a lot of Americans immediately pulling off their masks in airplanes, very happy about the change. Is the administration concerned that the public is moving on without the CDC, and that the country is in a different place where the administration is in?
Well, I would note Well, I've seen those videos. Anecdotes are not data, right? And certainly that does tell a part of the story. But we don't make these decisions based on politics or based on the political whims on a plane or even in a poll. But I would note in polls, in data, lengthier data, there are still a lot of people in this country who still want to have masks in place. Either they have immunocompromised relatives, they have kids under 5, whatever it may be. So even on the pure politics, I don't think there's a concrete story at this point.
Yeah, so a couple things. Number one, even just all the way back in March, an Axios poll found that 64% of Americans favored ending all restrictions. This is at the federal, state, and local levels. Not just that, but I think the implication was that they're just paying attention to the science, Brett.
Of course, obviously.
It's just the science. They don't care about politics.
No.
They just want to do what's right according to science.
Well, they don't care about the polls, obviously.
Yeah, of course not.
Who cares about
please.
that? No, but the CDC, which apparently is the god of science now, is inherently political. And saying that it's not is wild. I mean, they extended this mandate that has now been lifted and hopefully stays lifted. I think they extended it through the beginning of May. They probably would have, pushed it further because they have that power.
Yeah.
If you give a government agency power over individuals, if you give them the ability to, utilize that jurisdiction, they will. They will not give it back. They're enjoying it. That means that the more that they can push their own needle, the more power they will have. I don't know what else they're trying to do with us, but they're not going to give it up. So they are inherently political, and touting them as some kind of scientific body, it's a lie.
Yeah, they're completely non-biased CDC.
Well,
they're just here for you.
Well, what's so crazy is the CDC has also been telling people not to be fat for a while, and clearly we have been avoiding that one guideline. And what's kind of crazy about this is that, they're doing directly to the judge from Florida what they did to what Taylor Lorenz is doing in Libs of Tik Tok. They're writing cover pieces like, who really is this judge? Who's her family? What's really going on? They're trying to intimidate her publicly. Yeah. Luckily, she is a badass woman, and she is doing her best to help the country despite what people might be doing. That's what happens when you serve the people. You have to sacrifice things. Libs of Tik Tok, not a public servant, just a anonymous profile, but a judge goes, you know what, it is worth saving people from being persecuted and being abused by a health agency that has no jurisdiction, that was not voted in, doesn't have any democratic authority in our country. And what's even crazier about this is that this is so widely popular that it shows you that the administration is hell-bent on doing what's unpopular intentionally to make our lives miserable. Nobody's asking for this to come back. And have you forgotten that we are a republic, that we represent people on what we want and what we ask for? They don't care about what we want anymore. They think they know better than us, right? There's this bioinformatic monitoring that they need to monitor us based on our health and look out for us, that they know better than we do. And what I think is so crazy is the only reason why they might not be challenging this officially in court in ways that they want to is because the own Democrat strategy group, I believe that's giving advice to the Biden administration, said that it is most likely that the appeal would fail, and then people would lose full confidence in the federal government. Dude, you need to fire that strategy group.
It's theater.
We've already
exactly.
we have lost confidence in the federal government years ago, and now you're just holding on. And I feel like this is like somebody who's been divorced for 5 years still wearing the wedding ring. It's like, look, we don't trust you. You don't trust us. Don't keep the charade up, because at this point, we don't even know how you got there. And I don't think Biden. That's the biggest scandal about the 2020 election. It's not what we say on YouTube about it. It's what Biden thinks. Because if you ask Biden, hey Biden, how'd you get into the White House? Do you think you'd have a solid answer? Does he even eat solid food?
No.
If he had his earpiece in, he might have a
Does he even have an ear?
Maybe not.
Well, he just needs the Easter Bunny to continue just ushering him away
his
from
comms.
all the hard
Did you see that
questions.
tweet where it was like the Easter Bunny was sitting in the comms office? It was clearly just a staffer.
Yeah.
But I wanted to jump on something that you said about the federal agency and all of that. Did you see that tweet from, I think it was somebody who's running for office in New Hampshire or something like that? And it went viral because she was saying, it was after the judge had lifted the mandate, and she said, I can't believe that the courts are stripping power away from the federal government.
Yes, state representative was like this is the first time that you've seen that a judge can remove the power from the executive branch of the government or whatever. She didn't know what the balance of power was.
Or that she knows but does not care and is so willing to just say, never mind, screw
You
it.
didn't see that?
No.
She was, she was literally
like,
I declare to you this day, you're going to see how one judge can take away power from the federal executive branch. It was like,
yeah, that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
that's like being like, today on this day,
Federalism.
on this November day, you saw that the people can change their president. And you're like,
Wow.
I mean, I don't know about the last one, but you know.
Like that's been the whole point of this whole experiment that is America.
They
the
loved
whole
it when the
time.
judges did it. This is the crazy thing.
Yep.
They were cheering. Like if a judge blocked, Trump's immigration orders,
Yeah.
if a judge halted or ordered some sort of, even just recently, like his taxes, a federal judge in New York, that he should actually go through a review and an audit. They're like, wow, this is such a good balance of power. And then when you see the power balance, they're like, well, it's not tipping in our favor. It's becoming imbalanced. And you see what balance means to them. It's just everything tipped to their side.
And in order to live in this country, we have to be uncomfortable when things don't go our way. It's the way that, a republic works, the way that this country was set up. Not everything is going to go our way. I would love it if it did, but people are going to say things that are going to offend us that we think are wrong. Judges are going to rule in ways that, I believe are immoral and incorrect. That's part of life, then we fight to change it.
Yeah.
You don't screech about the fact that, oh my God, I can't believe the system is set up this way. It's like, grow up.
Yeah.
Power to the people.
Also, freedom is messy.
It is.
Right? Like
Power to the
freedom-
people. They're like, okay, cool. We'll give the people power to have their own masks. Power from the people.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Take it away.
It's also wild too that the left, like, they can't comprehend that a judge saying that you don't have to have that you can't have a mandate doesn't mean that they are like disallowing you from wearing it with your own personal choice, right? Like they're like, what is the big daddy government telling me to do? I will do it. They can't comprehend like having a personal choice to do something.
They need their
themselves.
narrative enforced in order to feel good about themselves. So
They can't debate because they're like, I know this is an age-old thing, but what really happens, and this is where people need to realize, sometimes it becomes almost like the older brother to the younger brother, where because they have the power, right, because of the actual, institutional control, like a younger brother might be right in their ideas, but the older brother's like, yeah, but I can still punch you. So it's like, that's the whole point. It's like even the social media, anything. It's like, well, yeah, your ideas might be correct, but they're not going to be seen if we, ban you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, yeah, like you might be correct about the Constitution, but if we can stack the courts and if we can, fund corrupt DAs, then it doesn't really matter what the truth is. And we live in a system of gaslighting where it's like, I don't know what to believe, who to believe, or what is even true, because it seems like people run professional careers on just lying to the public, and that the lies, if you fight the lies, you're the one gaslighting.
Yeah,
Right, so on
that's so true.
April
Last
Fool's
word.
Day, everybody was saying, oh, I don't know what stories to believe or not, and they were looking at WAPO and New York Post and all of that. They're going, are these our April Fool's jokes? I was like, we should be doing this every day, using actual critical thinking to go, maybe this isn't true.
Yeah.
It was
Happy
shocking.
May Fools. I like that every day.
Every day.
Happy May Fools.
Especially when reading the New York Times and Washington Post.
Oh, of course.
All right, so we got to take a break, but when we come back, let's talk about, Elijah, you mentioned Joe Biden. Is he even aware of what's going on? Is he eating solid foods? No, we know the answer is no, but a new report says that he wants to run for re-election and believes that he can beat Trump again. We'll get into that after the break. All right, Brett, it's been wonderful having you in town, on set, in studio. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me at I'm Brett Cooper on Instagram and Twitter, and then my YouTube channel is The Comment Section with Brett Cooper, and you can subscribe there. New episodes every single day, 5 days a week. It's a good time.
That's awesome. And then you were just on with Elijah on Slightly Offensive as well.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun looking at the rise in black white supremacy. I can't even say it.
Did he corrupt you?
Oh, I was already corrupted. It was okay.
Yeah, you can see a side of Brett that is
I was going to say, you
uncensored.
seem so wholesome.
What?
You seem so wholesome.
Well, yeah.
She's the wholesome. She's the whole part. She has both the amazing, the great, and of course, the little bit of the bad side. We all have that.
That's fair.
The little edge.
A little edgy.
Make sure that you are subscribed to Brett. Make sure that you check out the episode of Slightly Offensive. And also, make sure that you are subscribed to the News and Why It Matters, wherever you get your audio podcasts. It will help more people be able to find the program, and you may see a review read live on air like the one today.
Real fast, I was going to say, by the way, thanks for your code on your makeup line, by the way. We've been using it. My wife has, and it was really great. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say the makeup that you do and that you make was fantastic. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm wearing some of it today.
AmericanBeautyBySarah.com. Brett looks beautiful in it. Everyone's saying
I don't
it.
look
It's
beautiful
the
in it.
best.
I'll
It's
be
the best.
completely honest.
It's
I just
the
look
best.
weird.
The best makeup. Everyone's saying it. All the fine people are saying it. All right, we'll get to the review tomorrow. I'm sorry, Chet Torp. We will get to you tomorrow. Okay. In the meantime, make sure you are subscribed to Blaze TV. That is blazetv.com. Use promo code NEWS for some savings.